Alright, today is a very important day. Today we shall figure out who is the best Disney princess, besides me of course, and we're going to do this in an orderly, definitely not based way at all. I'm going to go through each princess and I'm going to do a review of each of them, and then I'm going to decide which one is worst and which one is the best based on character, personality, and their story arc. And this ain't one of those shallow tier lists that's like, oh, who's the hottest Disney princess? I ain't that shallow. I do gotta say though, the Ariel be looking. Alright, now on to the first princess. Snow White. She hangs out with 7 fat, smelly, one-dimensional midget men, which is kind of weird. It's like a fantasy frat house, but if there was just one girl and midget guys. But Snow White is really plain cookie, like sugar cookie plain. She sings with forest animals, and then she gets in trouble, and then gets saved by a prince. That's it. That's all there is to her. That's pretty much her entire personality. Her entire personality is being a princess, dude. Being a classic Disney princess. That's it. So yeah, that's all there is to her. She gets poisoned by this witch bitch lady. She's like, oh no, I'm dead. But then true love's kiss saves her. But yeah, Snow White is lame. She's bad. Now we got Cinderella. Kind of the same thing with Snow White. Super basic. She sings with animals and then falls in love with a princess. Although, she is a maid, so... No, but for real though, she just does chores, sings with animals, and then falls in love. And she also loses her crystal slippered Jordans, so that's kind of rough, dude. And that's pretty much it. She does get abused by her mommy and her scumbag sisters, and by this cat who looks exactly like my sleep paralysis demon. Next we got Sleeping Beauty. Wait, is that her actual name? Sleeping Beauty? I don't think her name is ever said in the movie. Talk about being confined to one path in life, bro. You're literally born to get beauty sleep. Actually, that kind of sounds like a dream come true, but that's besides the point. All I gotta say is that she's a Control-C, Control-V of Snow White, but she has blonde hair and a pink dress. So yeah. She also sings with animals, gets in trouble, and then gets saved. Also, I'm pretty sure she loses to, like, a sewing machine, which is rough. She's supposed to sleep, but, like, not take a dirt nap. But that's what she ends up doing. It's kind of weird, dude. And yeah, she just goes AFK for most of the movie, and she's not out and about and doing things. It's kind of pretty lame. Not the best. But in the end, she does find true love, which is, oh my gosh, it's so great. Now we got Ariel. Now this is a princess with some personality. She's just a lucky, go-happy teen who wants to explore the world and hates her dad. And that's some personality right there. Of course, just like the other princesses, she sings with animals. Well, not animals, but like fish. Wait, dude, do fish count as animals? Whatever, that's besides the point. She sings Under the Sea with Sebastian, my main crab man here, and dances with a bunch of fish, and she makes friends with this really cowardly fish named Flounder, who actually is not a flounder fish, because if he was a flounder fish, he'd look like this. And I feel like that just wouldn't hit the same way with audiences. But yeah, she actually has some personality to her, which is cool. But she does get saved by one of the most plain-ass princes, though. Like, this guy, Eric, dude. Like, his name's Eric, dude. Like, bro, Eric? Dude? Ew, dude. Eric? Ugh, sounds like a disease. But yeah, gets rescued by Derek. But it's whatever. She falls in love with him. And yeah, they live happily ever after, and she fixes her daddy issues. Also, she like bumps the mute button and then bumps it again on her voice. That's cool. Imagine being such a simp that you sell your voice for legs. That's honestly cringe, dude. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about that because, you know, we already have legs, but honestly, dude. Wait, unless you're, like, in a wheelchair. Okay, if you're paralyzed and have no legs, go to Ursula, and then you'll be good. Next, we got Belle, and Belle is a great princess. I feel like she's who people think of when someone says Disney princess. And she's a free spirit, and she loves to read, which I can respect. Not because I read, of course. That's nasty, but just because I like to write stuff. But also has a resolve of steel, bro. She trades herself for her father's freedom to this beast and then actually stays inside of the castle and seduces her way out. Let's go. And then marries the guy who runs it. What a move, dude. She won't be pushed around either. She corrects this guy on his manners, bro, which is a bold move. And her story with the beast is definitely one of my favorites. I love how it progresses from absolute hatred and disgust to the most purest wholesome love ever. It's kind of like a scuffed soap opera. It's a super classic story, but that's because Belle is such a great character. And she's not just a princess, but she's her own person too. Overall, great story, and one might say a tale as old as time. Next we have Jasmine, and Jasmine has a pet tiger. And that's cool. She falls in love with a rat. Lol W. She seems pretty shallow personality-wise. I mean, she's kind of sassy and doesn't take no for an answer and just wants to do her own thing. But other than that, she's kind of just a princess. And she gets captured by elderly snake man, but our good man Al and his blue lamp smurf friend are able to save her. And they all sing Kumbaya and have a happy time and whatever. A whole new world. A dazzling place I never knew. Love that song, especially when I sing it. Next we got Pocahontas, and Pocahontas is definitely one of my favorite Disney princesses. I'm not exactly sure if she's represented very, historically accurately in this movie. I kind of doubt it, but she is a good character. She loves nature, and she's true to her people and culture, and I got mad respect for that. Oh, and she sings one of my favorite Disney songs. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Wait, the song name probably that long, but that's why I know it as, so shut up. Pocahontas also just giggles at the thought of death, because she leaps off a waterfall twice and then decides to stand up to angry old Englishmen. So that's a pretty bold move. And she also has a pet raccoon, which is bonus points. And of course, she falls in love, but what's interesting about Pocahontas is that the prince and the princess don't stay together at the end, but it still ends good. Mulan. Now, this is a princess, bro. She sneaks into the army to fight a horde of Huns, bro. Who does that? I'll tell you who. Mulan does, dang it. Society trying to get her hitched, but instead she just decides to kill the entire Hun army. Honestly, a Giga Chad move for real. She's got a good character arc with becoming the hero of China and all. And she's not just a princess either. She actually has a personality. She's focused, determined, and stands up for what she thinks right. So pretty much the opposite of me. She also falls in love with this guy, Shang, which is pretty cool. He's a pretty nice dude. And she makes a bunch of friends along the way as well, like this lizard who ends up just trying to ruin her entire life in the second movie, and then these three lads right here. And also, she's part of one of the greatest Disney songs of all time. Many may argue it's the greatest, but it's I'll Make a Man Out of You. That's bonus points for sure. Tiana from The Princess and the Amphibian. She's great. She's a banger cook and an absolute go-getter. She hustling, dude. So she can have her own restaurant, working 9 to 5, 7 days a week, saving every penny, saving every dollar. Even when she's a frog, she still is a good cook, and she still is a go-getter. Tiana is just a great princess, man. She's got so much personality, and her character arc is great. Throughout the movie, Tiana learns that having fun is just as important as hard work. She also fights a demon guy and his demon homies, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Tiana loves her family. She wants to just do right by her family and have her own restaurant, and I really admire her for just sticking to it and getting that restaurant no matter what. And also, she's very optimistic too, because when she looks at her restaurant, she actually looks like a crack house, but she's like, oh my gosh, isn't this wonderful? She sees the bigger picture and she's super optimistic. I like that. Next we got Rapunzel. And Rapunzel's great, man. She's a free spirit who's cooped up in a tower, but eventually she breaks free of her tower and her mommy issues as well. She goes out and explores the world and meets a bunch of new people. And then she ends up murdering someone with her hair. So that's metal, dude. Honestly, a great Disney princess because Disney makes her a princess, but also gives her a personality, unlike Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. Then we got Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon. Next, we got Merida from Brave, and she's a great princess, but unfortunately, she's a ginger, so that's definitely a few points knocked off there. I do like Merida as a princess, though. She's a lot different from other princesses, since she's really independent in the entire movie, and she passes up a chance to marry this guy, which is honestly probably a huge missed opportunity. And I'm also just a sucker for movies about family, so this one definitely hit home for me. And I like watching Merida bond with her mom and seeing them come to understand each other more and bond more. Next we got Anna, and she's a ginger too. We're starting to see a little bit of a trend here. And Anna is crazy, though. She meets a guy and then wants to marry him the same night. Pump the brakes, girl. There's so many red flags with this guy. First off, his name is Hans. No good guy has ever been named Hans, bro. And then second, he's a ginger. That's an additional 8 red flags right there. If a guy wants to marry you the same night you meet, then there's probably some hidden agenda he's got going on. That's all I'm saying. So that's another red flag. Honestly, kind of a game removed, though. She wants to marry him anyway. But the guy turns out to be bad. Dang, shocker. Red hair should have been a dead giveaway, let's be honest. Anna is cool, though. I really like her upbeat and happy spirit and can-do attitude. She also really cares about the ones closest to her, and I respect that. Anna also ends up marrying a mentally impaired forest man who talks to reindeer and cuts ice for a living. So that's also a dream come true for her, I'm sure. But most importantly, she really cares about the ones she loves, and especially her sister Elsa. And speaking of Elsa, we're on to her now. And she's a strong, independent woman, damn it. She don't need nobody saving her. Instead, she's just gonna run away and build an ice castle, which is oddly reminiscent of an ice spikes biome in Minecraft, but that's besides the point. She also almost kills her sister, but that was just an oopsie poopsie, and the magical rock goblins can fix that right up, so we're good. And of course, she sings Let It Go, one of the most slapping Disney songs out there. Not gonna lie, it does lose its charm after the umpteenth time you hear kids outside on the playground singing it. Hey! Shut up! Anyway, Elsa's cool. She decides to go creative mode and just build her own castle. I am curious, though, what does she do in there? Like, she's all alone. Does she just sit on the floor? Does she play, like, Clash of Clans or some shit? Like, what's she doing there? Looks kind of boring. Anyway, Elsa's really cool. She's got a cool story arc of coming to terms with her powers and realizing that the one she loves will always stand by her no matter what. Next, we have Moana, who's from Moana. Shocker. Moana is great. She got a little stupid chicken. He's my favorite. But Moana is hell brave. She decides to make a boat to travel across the sea and harass Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to save the world from being turned to charcoal dust. That's some hero stuff right there, dude. It's kind of like Elsa in the sense that she doesn't fall in love with anybody, that she's really independent. Very cool to see her be a badass. She gets chosen by the ocean to literally go across the ocean, go to the realm of monsters, and fight a bunch of sentient evil coconuts, and fight the urge to eat her pet chicken. Next, we got Kida from Atlantis. And, dude, she's a girl from Atlantis, dude. You know she's gonna be cracked, for real. And Kida definitely has a fighting spirit, and a curious one, too. She also just decides to ascend to a higher plane of existence, which is crazy. Who just decides that they're gonna prestige, but in real life, it's kind of nutty. Kida's a fighter, but she's a lover as well, and she falls for the nerd Milo. And honestly, she's probably one of the most badass princesses. She wears this cool mask, and she wields a little hook spear thing, and she also beats the stuffing out of some guards too. So, but yeah, she's great. She's gonna do anything she can to protect her people. And then we got Thumbelina. And she's a lame character, just like the rest of the movie. And instead of singing to the animals, all the animals within a 12-mile radius try to hook up with her. Good on Disney for going in another direction with that. Unfortunately, that direction is off a cliff into the sharp rocks of mediocrity. So that's very cool. And I think that's all of the Disney princesses, I'm pretty sure. Or is it? No, yeah, it is. It is all of them. We're done. So, who's the best Disney princess out of all the ones that I listed? We'll figure out in a second, but first, who's the worst Disney princess? It was a hard decision, but I think that Mulan is definitely the worst Disney princess. Just kidding. I'd be crucified upside down if I said that. The real worst Disney princess is definitely Sleeping Beauty. Why, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. Sleeping Beauty is who she's known as, and that sucks. She's just confined to sleeping and looking pretty, which is pretty lame. Sounds like a really tough break. She doesn't even get a name. It's just Sleeping Beauty. I mean, she probably does, but she is known as Sleeping Beauty since that's what she does. And she has no personality. She's just a girl who touches a dangerous piece of equipment and then goes comatose for the rest of the movie. It's so lame. She just has no essence to her at all. She sings, she gets 360 no-scoped by a sewing machine, and then she takes a dirt nap for the rest of the movie. That's actually just what happens. And then at the end, she gets kissed and they live happily ever after. Yada, 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 yada. It's just so stereotypical and cookie cutter Disney princess. And it's even worse because any time she would have to develop a personality is taken away because she's dead for most of the movie. So she doesn't even develop more of a personality. She's so one-dimensional. And it's just really bad. It's like, she's called Sleeping Beauty. It's like, I wonder what she's like. I wonder if she's a pretty girl who sleeps. No, I bet she's a 1941 Ford convertible. Like, no, she's just a girl who sleeps and looks pretty. So yeah, that's why I think she's definitely the worst Disney princess. But now who's the best Disney princess? And I think this title has to go to Rapunzel. And not only is she a classic Disney princess, but she's also her own person. Unlike Sleeping Beauty, she actually has her own personality. And she's not dead she doesn't die, like, for any portion of the movie, which is great. She does become a brunette, though, so that's, kind of an L there. Yeah, Rapunzel, she's upbeat and happy, and she just wants to see what the world has to offer her. She's a bird in a cage, but eventually she breaks free from that cage and enjoys the wonders that the world has to offer her. Rapunzel's also just super wholesome and realizes that everyone has a dream and that there's a bit of good in everyone. Also, she's a jack of all trades, man. She reads, she paints, she cooks, she does pottery and candle making. Try to find a girl that does candle making these days, bro. Like, good luck, dude. She's also just super nice. She just does little things like give this guy a kiss on the cheek or let these kids play with her hair for like 8 hours straight. And you can see that she just really has a heart of gold and hair of gold as well. In my opinion, Rapunzel is definitely the best Disney princess, and I'm glad you watched the entirety of my very well thought out systematic overanalyzation of who the best Disney princess is. Thanks for watching to the end, and of course, as always, you can expect more movie reviews coming soon. Okay, bye.